Hi guys. Really sorry to keep you waiting. I'm here now. Well, good. Thank God I could just put elevator music. I'm sorry. I don't have any licensed music. um, Thank you for following though. Thank you so much. You joined at a very special stream. I'm gonna turn my lights on because I can't see shit. Can I turn this up? That's as far up as it'll go. That's fine. Hi, welcome in. I'm Stevie, and I'm working on an indie series called Tales of Moira, which is what we will be watching and analyzing today. Uh, just fair warning, uh, the earlier parts aren't as good as the later parts. When I have the full pilot episode, I'm gonna go back and edit it all and make it better and change the dialogue and change the line deliveries. I'm going to fix all that, I promise. I'll try do some visual tweaks as well because my art style has drastically improved. I've done all this by myself, by the way. Just this is all stuff I've learned how to do. Unfortunately, I didn't learn fast enough in the earlier stages, so I apologize in advance. I'll point it out when we get to them. You'll see. 1 second, quickly. But yeah, goddamn, I'm I'm very excited. I've got it. It's all up on YouTube. You can, whoa, you can go watch it all. Right here. Let me move. It's all right here on my YouTube channel. You can go see it. It's my VTuber lore, technically. Um, so that if you people have asked me in the past, Stevie, do you have VTuber lore? Yes. I just don't have the budget for it. So yeah, I'm just gonna hop straight into it. Here we go. This is the prologue of Tales of Moira. Uh, this is focusing on the main villain, uh, because he believes he's the main character. He's not. He's the main villain, but I wanted to feed into his delusions narratively a little bit. I'm gonna change so much of this dialogue. Again, we'll watch it through first, and then I'll point it all out. All right.
It's over, my love. My reign is at hand. But you can still rule by my side over this disgusting world? I'm not. I'm not done. You're already dead and buried. Just a step away from my domain. My life may be forfeit, but I will stop you, no matter how many lifetimes it takes. Oh, really? Then consider this my final gift to you. I'll trigger an immediate reincarnation, and I will come find you 1 year hence, on the eve of the Yuletide season. If that's what it takes to stop your genocide. It's not genocide, my love. I'm cleansing this world of sin. You know what's so funny about humans? You all have this obnoxious determination. Like you're the main characters of everyone's stories. But the truth is, you're all just a footnote in the gods' plans. A first draft to be scrapped and forgotten. I'm sorry to tell you, my love, but this isn't your story. I'm this world's hero. This is my story. I'm the main character!
All right. So I've got plenty of notes. That's the prologue. Like I said, I'm gonna go in the full episode. I'm gonna go back and change it all. You'll notice the changes I've started making proactively in later parts. Like, for starters, oh, hang on.
It's over, my
For starters, you'll notice that the speech bubbles
life.
are blanking out the background entirely. It's all this color that you're seeing in the background. I changed it so it's a little less ugly, and it's just like regular beige. But I chose this color so it would decrease eye strain. Um, and technically, it's a comic dub, but it's sort of just morphed into mixed media later on. But the voice acting and the sound quality in the first two parts are not the best that they could be. All right, I've I've gotten much better. I've learned a lot. I'm gonna go re-record all these lines. I'm gonna change a lot of this dialogue. You'll hear Ephialtes, who is the main villain here. You could. I've got to fix that fucking jaw. Jesus. um. This is Ephialtes, the main villain, of the series. Um. I'm gonna change a lot of the dialogue here and the line deliveries as well because his voice has changed a little bit as well. His voice has turned into Light Yagami if he had the speech patterns of G-Man. So like what's a good example? What's a like you know how Light Yagami has this type of voice, this pitch and everything like that, and then G-Man has this like really fucking breathy um speech patterns. I'm putting those two together because Ephialtes is very much inspired by a little bit by Light Yagami, and also by the Lich from Adventure Time. If you couldn't tell by the fact that his full title is Ephialtes, the Lich King. Sorry, Lich King Ephialtes. Um, so those are his inspirations: is Light Yagami, uh, the Lich from Adventure Time, and G-Man from Half-Life 1 and 2. um, uh, but yeah, you see he uses the phrase "my love" a lot. I'm gonna change that. The dynamics changed. Like it was meant to allude to like a history between these two characters. Now I've changed it so this character, Vili, has never this is their first time meeting. So this is like way too friendly for a first meeting. Uh Vili's obviously heard of Ephialtes. Ephialtes haunts the narrative through all of history. So you've more than likely, even if you don't realize it in the world of Tales of Moira, whether you realize it or not, you've heard of the Lich King Ephialtes. He's influenced history multiple times in many terrible ways. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna change this color a little bit. I wanted the prologue to be like the muted colors, except for like the highlighted green. I liked the highlighted green because it very much listening on headphones and such. Is that a good thing? I sorry. Um um what was I saying? Yeah, I wanted to do the highlighted green because, I unfortunately I'll talk about it a bit later. It's a good thing. Okay, good. Um I'll talk about the unfortunately a bit later. You'll see it come up a bit later. But unfortunately, I use green a bit too much. But there's this specific shade of green that I like to use specifically for Ephialtes. Um, because of reasons. I forgot what I was saying. But yes, this is Vili. Vili's dead. Vili's fucking dead. And excuse me. I chose these like muted colors so it looks like a flashback. You can also I'll play this again. You can hear it here. I hadn't figured out audio mixing very well at this point, so
Forgotten. I'm sorry to tell you, my love, but this is...
So the, the laser blast, the fucking key blast or whatever, is the same volume as the dialogue. Uh, I will fix that. I I realized that that is an issue. I'm gonna fix that. All right. But I like this pose. Uh I wanted I wanted them to look decrepit. I wanted them to look like they don't look after themselves. You know, they've clearly not eaten in a very long time. There's this scar where their heart should be. I mean, technically it's in the middle, but like, you know, your heart leans to the right. Well, whatever, semantics. They're missing an arm. They can shapeshift, mind you. Mind you, they can shapeshift. They could just as easily fix all of these problems, but they just don't. They don't look after their body. Their stolen body, mind you. They are on borrowed time. Uh, I fucking hate this prick. Uh, um, but you can see in the mouth as well. I always really loved this design choice of like the mouth ripping at the seams of itself. It's so cool, and it adds to that imagery of like they're a lich, so like imagery of a rotting corpse is very cool to me for a lich specifically. Uh, and I'll get into it another time maybe, but there is a difference between a lich and a hi Mikami. How do I close this? I accidentally opened up your thingy, and I don't know how to close it again. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think I nailed their design for the most part. I changed it a little bit. Um, oh, and the antlers as well. The antlers, like, throughout, you can see... This is a really nice detail I am actually proud of. You can see slowly throughout the prologue, they sort of morph these antlers that are made out of this, like, black ichor substance. And they get bigger as the prologue progresses. Unfortunately, I tried. That here's where I figured out. Maybe like I put so much. Oh, Anon, hi. I was wondering where I knew you from. Sorry. um. But yeah, here's the first time I figured out. What if I put so much effort into these backgrounds? What if I could show them off a little bit? You know, by lowering the opacity on the speech bubbles. And I eventually figure out that I can just do that entirely. But yeah, the that's the prologue of Tales of Moira. It focuses on and sets up the villain, Ephialtes. The first time they get brought up, they're going to be referred to as Morpheus. I'll talk about that when we get to it. All right, that has since changed. But you'll see that it's going to be real. This is why I've put them in the playlist progress updates, because when the full episode comes out, I can go, hey, look, this is the canon version, okay? The canonicity of Tales of Moira, it goes like this. Everything is canon until it's disproven in an official episode. Alright? That's... So, like, you know, I talk about Tales of Moira on my TikTok all the time. All of the shit I have said on my TikToks is canon until an official full episode disproves it, alright? So... those are the assumptions you're allowed to work with until I decide otherwise. I feel like that's fair. But yeah, I wanted the prologue to focus on the villain because he thinks he's the hero, and I wanted to play into that a little bit. He's not. but I wanted to play into it narratively and like have him be the first person you meet. That's another inspiration. Listen to the song "The Main Character" by Will Wood. You'll understand. You'll understand. Um, all right, and here's the start of the actual episode. Again, I apologize. The mic quality isn't as good. I recorded this at like 9:30 at night in one go. I shouldn't have done it that way. That was stupid. I thought it sounded. I thought it sounded great when I first finished recording it. Um, how fucking wrong I was. But this part focuses specifically on the main characters of the B plot, and then the next part focuses on the main characters of the A plot, and so on and so forth. Uh, you'll see. You'll see. So I'm just gonna let these guys talk for themselves. So this is Hazel. This is Casey. I love them. They might be my favorite characters. I'm going to say that about every character in this series, alright?
You want to talk now?
It's just. It's just what Zara said to me when I ran.
Filthy heretic! You're just gonna run with your tail between your legs like the coward you are!
I recorded that into a metal cup that, hang on, let me see if I can find it. I might still have it somewhere. If I don't, I'm gonna be really bummed. Cause one, it means I'm gonna have to find a filter to do that voice again. But shit, you know what? I can't see it. I might have lost that metal cup. Tales of Moira is cancelled. It's over. Zariel's line, I recorded it into a metal cup, so it sounded a bit more like a metal bucket to replace it. Yes. um. So it sounded like she was speaking through a helmet. It sounds a bit silly, but I think it's cool. All right. You know, like real-time sound design on my budget of £0, 0 pence, exactly. Um, I'm probably gonna redraw this panel. I've gotta go back and edit them anyway because you see Hazel has a scar here. That's gone now. Because how he gets that scar was meant to just be hinted at throughout the episode. But no, I'm just gonna show you. I've moved it up to the final confrontation of the episode. There's gonna be a cool fight scene nearer the end of the episode. That's where Hazel gets that scar, and it's gonna be so fucking sick. My old city used to do medieval festivals. I shall send you a metal helm. Thank you. Uh, but yeah, just the scars aren't there anymore. Yet they will come back. They're important to his character arc. It's no surprise they look like a cross. All right, that was intentional. It's metaphorically his cross to bear. I'll talk more about that when this part is over. All right.
The church always told us we'd be fighting evil, but they never told us what evil was. She killed scared and innocent people, and she still can't see that? Why can't she?
It's a lot to grapple with, for you and for her. And it's not... Hang on, do you see that?
Oh gods, I do. What is...
Oh my... Hazel, we gotta make sure no one was caught in that.
This shot specifically, I was and still am very proud of. This is very cool. Like learning to do this was so sick. What I might do is actually like remove the colors from this, because you know, like impact frames usually they're like just like a white background. I might go back and edit it so that like There's no color to this. It's just like a white background. I'd have to turn the speech bubbles black and the text white though. I can do that. But also you'll notice the trees specifically for this segment. All right, specifically for the part you just watched. All that's gonna change. All that's gonna change color. Because because I've been fighting for my life to decide how this forest should look. And I haven't. And I've stuck with the decision to not decide how it should look because it's a magical forest. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I'm also gonna add an establishing shot at the start as well, so you can get like a nice, good view of the forest too. And also, there's a shot of a campfire. Like I think I put it in there. Like there's campfire sounds. Yeah, there's very faint campfire sounds and like campfire light down here. That was very lazy of me, and I have since made an establishing shot with the new colors and everything. I'm excited to show you guys that. I think it looks cute. But there's also something in the campfire that you should pay attention to, and you know, pay attention to this shot as well. Pay attention to the establishing shot and this shot. It'll give you a bit more. It'll be a little bit more world building, give you an idea of what's going on with Hazel. It'll get explained in the episode, like in the big confrontation, but it's a cool detail that I can't wait to show off. And I've gotten better at backgrounds since then, so you know, small victories. So that was Hazel and Casey, and now we get to meet Bean, Cherry, and Tina. Her name was always going to be Tina, but for this 1 week I called her Haley, but that sounded too much like Haley. So her name's Tina. Her name's always been Tina. It's not like Ephialtes. Past me was wrong. It's Tina. All right, but here we go.
Shit. All right.
Shit!
Whoa, Bean, it's okay. This is good news. This'll hurt the church more than it'll hurt us. This is a victory.
It's not a good thing. Innocent people suffered today. What would Carl say?
You laugh, but the Karl Marx shrine is very... I'm laughing, but the Karl Marx shrine is imperative to Bean's character arc in this episode. So, what did I do? So, the B plot focuses on the Goblin Rebellion, and here's a goblin. Bean. Bean is a goblin. And goblins are commies. Because I'll tell you why. I'll throw shade at J.K. Rowling. Why not? So as a trans person, I don't like J.K. Rowling. And a lot of Jewish people also really don't like J.K. Rowling, especially for her portrayal of goblins. Because goblins, in most of their portrayals anyway, are based in anti-Semitic stereotypes, you know. And J.K. Rowling just somehow managed to make it worse, you know. Greedy, hook-nosed bankers that run the biggest bank in the world. That's an anti-Semitic stereotype and a caricature. As well as in her game Hogwarts Legacy, the entire plot of that game is based on the anti-Semitic blood libel trope. The trope of Jewish people kidnapping good Christian children to use in dark magic. Which is fucked. That's fucked. That rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm nothing if not woke as fuck. So I was like, alright, just to be a spiteful bitch, I'm gonna make the least anti-Semitic goblin character design you've ever seen. So, they're blue, they don't have hooked noses, they're definitely not capitalist, they're communist, and, and, they're not evil. They're not evil. They're the main characters of the B plot. The B plot is anti-authoritarian and anti-capitalist as fuck, alright? So, yeah. But Bean is being a commie the wrong way. He's being what we call a tanky. A tanky is someone who uncritically, who will look at a nation that called itself communist, you know, like the Soviet Union, and be like, oh, well, they're communist, they must be good, without acknowledging, like, the flaws in the ideology at the time and the execution. Like, Karl Marx has his flaws, as well as the Communist Manifesto. So, like, it's by no means perfect. And in having a shrine of Karl Marx uncritically thinking, oh, this is a normal thing to do, this is how you do communism. No, you're being a tanky. Which you'll see in a second. It leads to... this was supposed to be a serious scene, but it leads to my favorite unserious line delivery in the entire episode, I think. Here we go.
He'd probably say something anti-Semitic. You're being a tanky, Bean. Dial it back.
Oh, yeah, also, Karl Marx did not have nice opinions about Jewish people. So there's that as well. Which, the goblins aren't anti-Semitic in two ways. One, they don't hate Jewish people, and two, they're not caricatures of Jewish people. So there you go. So goblins gather together to revolt. This is a new view to see. I feel like it's an interesting, like, I feel like it's also an interesting dissection of the medieval fantasy genre, because here's the thing, is because fantasy racism is so fucking stupid, because it just, 9 times out of 10, it just reinforces stupid, eugenics and racist ideologies. Like, it's rooted in real racism. Like, it's, you look at an elf, and they're like, oh, we're the purebred, naturally beautiful, race. And then there's the goblins, which are disgusting and fuck ugly and naturally evil. And it's just like, fuck off. That's stupid. That's dumb. I hate it. So it's also a dissection of that as well. Not, I don't know if I'll ever go deep into it, but it's something I bear in mind when writing. But it's also why I have two, well, actually I have three, but I have two male presenting, full-blooded elves, and they both have this fucking shaggy Scooby-Doo scruffy facial hair. They look like shit, alright? And that's on purpose. I needed to knock elves down a peg, alright? I'm sick of their shit. I'm sick of their eugenics shit, okay? But Cherry is a very, very important character. He doesn't have the most accurate Irish accent, but that could have lore implications, okay? Because now here's the other thing. Now, I'll talk about that a bit later. But what else was I gonna say? Was it about this episode specifically? Was it about communism? Was it about goblins? Narrow it down. Let me think. Oh, I remember. So, here's the thing about goblins, and I'm saying... Oh, no, I wasn't. Oh, I thought I was muted that whole time. I just scared the fuck out of myself. Okay. So, here's the thing about goblins, and I'm using goblins in air quotes. Because this guy right here, Cherry, his official title is the Goblin King, and you can see a little bit his design is based on David Bowie's the Goblin King from Labyrinth. You know, that was intentional. I just wanted to design my own Goblin King. But the goblins are commie revolutionaries. Why do they have a king? They don't. It's just a nickname. He's their PR guy, if that makes sense. He handles the PR of of the Goblin Rebellion. And so like the media, you know, like the tabloids just call him the Goblin King because you know he's who you see front facing a lot of the time. It's just a cute little it's just a reference that I thought was fun, you know, and tells you a little bit more about his character, you know. Uh, what else? What else? Yes. So I said goblins in air quotes a second ago because there's the race goblins, you know, like these things, and then there's goblin revolutionaries. They are both called goblins interchangeably. It's like, if you know Star Wars, there's a group of people called Mandalorians. Originally, they started off as their own unique race, unique to the planet Mandalore, but eventually the culture splintered into just being a culture specifically, and everyone under that culture are called Mandalorians. It's sort of like that. And I think that's a cool, silly, and fun way to think about it. You know, because like biologically, he's an elf. Look at him, he's an elf. Except there's something weird up with his eye. He has a weird eye under the eye patch. Is it under the eye patch? No, this is the weird eye. He's got like a cat eye. You know, it's yellow with like the big pupils. This is like a normal eye under the eye patch, and he uses the two different eyes to his advantage. Like, this is how he's comfortable presenting to people he trusts, but he'll swap the eye patch around as like a disguise. It's not a very great disguise, but you'll also notice that there's a color scheme going on here. This is the Goblin Rebellion color scheme. You know, it's the browns and the blues, especially. Those are the Goblin colors that I will be using to show when characters are in the Goblin Rebellion, which is super cool. I think it's worth pointing out. You know, just something interesting. So that should tell you a little bit of something about where this outfit comes from at some point later in the episode. So have fun with that. A little lore drop for you. But yes, sorry, I'll let the episode continue. Bean's character arc for this episode is the colors make him distinct. Yes, thank you. Make sure there's less friendly fire. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know who they are. It's a branding thing. So the B plot focuses more like on the inner working politics of the world, and the A plot is like the main usual, like what you'd come to expect of a medieval fantasy story. And the two stories intersect a lot. Like I said, the A plot follows the Lich King as the villain and the four main characters who I'll point out when they show up. And these three characters, all the characters in this episode are like the main characters of the B plot. And Bean's character arc for this episode, it's very short and sweet. It's mainly just like for the bit, but it basically just culminates in Bean learning that they should think for themselves. You know, be the commie you want to see in the world. Because Bean is supposed to be the leader of the Goblin Rebellion. Cherry's just the front-facing PR dude, if that makes sense. I've turned 3 minutes of footage into half an hour of a stream. I've got a lot to say about this. I'm gonna do another one of these when the full episode comes out. by doing their own thing. Yeah, that's exactly it. Bean learns to think for themselves, basically. But yeah, I'll let the rest of the episode play.
Probably say something anti-Semitic. You're being a tanky bean. Dial it back. And yeah, it sucks. People got hurt. But they saw the Templars for the monsters that they are, and their forces are scattered.
I ain't no fucking tanky! You take that back, motherfucker!
That's probably my favorite line delivery. I say probably because the most recent episode that came out 2 weeks ago, I'm using the word episode loosely, but I had so many fun line deliveries in the most recent part. I had a fucking whale of a time. But that fucking line delivery was so fun. It was so silly. Bearing in mind, again, that was supposed to be a serious scene. But then all that went out the window. And also one other thing, a flaw I do want to note too. Again, her name is Tina. She was my original, like, first trans character. Originally she was white. And I changed it because as I started getting more politically engaged, I learned that a lot of not just black trans women, but POC trans women across the board, trans people across the board, feel very underrepresented and overshadowed by, you know, like, this goes for trans dudes as well. Like, a lot of people in the trans community feel overshadowed by white trans women, and that pissed me off. So I thought, Tina, you're black now. And for media nerds out there, she was ginger when she was white. I'm kidding. She had black hair. White, black, purple. Me like character from what they do and act. Valid as fuck. She does have purple hair though. A little bit of a purple hue. It was really fun. I had to learn a lot about, like, how to draw black people for Tina specifically, and it was super fun. Like, learning how to. I think I freestyled this hairstyle, but I was going for like a mullet kind of, and I think it looks cute. And you know, I've got the little. I forget what they're called. They've got like a really cute nickname. They're called like baby swooshes or something like that. You know, like here as like sideburns kind of. I thought that was really cute. I had a lot of fun redesigning Tina. And obviously she's trans. That was very important to me that I throw the trans flag somewhere in her design, because otherwise people would argue. You know, someone made a Twitter post a long time ago, and it was like, oh, you know, a trans character could look deadpan into the camera and say in perfect English, I am transgender, and people would still argue about it. Now they can't argue. Fuck you. And also, the other flaw I wanted to point out is going from Bean's fucking shouting phase to just go to this.
Hey.
The transition sucks. Not Tina's. Tina's transition was iconic. Look at her. She had a fantastic transition. But, this sucked. It felt unnatural. It was an unnatural, transition. And in the final cut, I'm gonna throw in a bit of an extended argument between Bean and Cherry. Just like Cherry says to Bean, I didn't say you were a tanky. I said you were being a tanky. Yeah, well, eat shit and fuck you, bitch. Oh, that's very mature of you, you fucking Egypt. You know, just for fun. And then Tina can, interrupt them both and go, yo, guys, and then this awkward little hey will flow much better. And also, pay attention to Bean's facial expression when they realize Tina walks in. It's so sweet.
Hey.
Look at how their face lights up. They're so cute. They love her. So I ship Bean and Tina. Bean is ace. And Tina has a partner and a kid. But polyamory is more than commonplace in this series because what are you going to do to stop me? What are you going to do to stop me? And it's like Tina doesn't have a huge role in the Goblin Rebellion a lot of the time. She has a pawn shop, so she like trades resources with people, you know, like an NPC that would sort of blend into the background like a shop owner in like an RPG game. But their kid, Juniper, is like one of these core 3 members of the Goblin Rebellion, and so I want to do like a thing where Bean sort of tries to pass messages to Tina through Juniper, which I think would be really cute and silly. And Juniper, I wish I kept their PNG on me. Hang on. While I talk, I think I can probably find it on Discord somewhere. Because I send all my art to myself. Where is it? No. But also, Tina and Juniper are Northern now. They're both Northern. So, British representation as well. I love that. I love both of them so much. I love all of these characters, dude. What do you want me to say? I love these characters. They're silly and goofy. And I'm just trying to quickly find Juniper's design on because I sent it to myself on Discord a while ago when I finished it. Now bear in mind it's subject to change, but I really love June's design. If I can find it here somewhere. Back to when here's a commission I did of Bean as well. I say that like I'm showing you. Here's somewhere around here. Nice. I do have a slideshow set up. Here we go. Nice. So if I change the window capture quickly to... Here we go. This is Juniper's design. I love it so much. Now you can see now here's some implications with this design I hadn't thought of. I'll go over the color scheme changes first. I changed the brown in the goblin color scheme to black because one, I wanted to give them a leather jacket. And a brown leather jacket I didn't think would look cool, so I gave them a black like battle jacket, and I was like, oh, I'll just change out the other browns for black as well, you know, so they're wearing like leather and everything. I wanted them to look like a punk. I guess you could say they draw inspiration from the song I Am a Poser. If you know any of the like reasons as to why that song was written, look it up. It's so cool. I was worried because I thought they looked like a Tesco employee. They don't. I looked up a Tesco uniform. I'm in the clear. It's fine. I wanted to give them locks that also blended in with the medieval fantasy setting, so that the shape of their hair is kind of like Link from The Legend of Zelda. You know, you got the sideburns, you got the hair swoop, you got the ponytail. I love it so much. Getting a water. Okay, nice. And their dad is a furry. But but here's the thing. Juniper has lighter skin than Tina. So that so the implication being that this furry is white, which I didn't think about before. I that's an implication that I'm gonna have to live with now. But you know, I gave them piercings. I gave them like a pink and reddish color scheme. The hair color scheme and the punk jacket is loosely based on Susie from Deltarune. Hi Aura, how we doing? Welcome in. I'm just talking about Tales of Moira. You know, the thing I never shut up about. And I'm working my way through the again, episodes loosely. Also, I gave them a metal pipe, cause why not? Why not? You know, I just thought, you know what would be cool? You know what would be cool? June exists to be cool. June is gonna spend a large part of the story aura farming. Okay, they're just that cool. So I just gave them a lead pipe to smack people with. I'm doing good, thank you for asking. But yeah, that's I apologize. I've been yammering about it for ages, but I love this. I love this stuff. I want to talk about it, flaws and all. Okay, like, you know, the you could see the green grass. Now, I said I was gonna change the color scheme of this part of the forest. I'm too lazy to do it for this one, but I will add some grass swishes. But I also want to keep them two different colors. I want to keep these parts of the forest two different colors. Because it's immediately implied that these parts of the forest are very close together. So the fact that the color scheme can change so drastically and immediately tells, will hopefully tell you, oh, there's like a large amount of diversity in this forest. You know, there's different parts of it. Why is that? Because it's a magical forest. Fuck you. And that will get explained in the episode, don't worry. If not in this episode, in the second one. I'll explain how traveling through the forest works in the second episode. I'll tell you guys here. But how traveling works in... I've got more tattoos since we last talked. Oh my god! Show me. You gotta show me when this stream is over. Message me on Instagram or something. I gotta see. But how travel works in the forest is it doesn't work. You go wherever the forest wants you to go, and also depending on where you want to go. Like it's a subconscious thing. All of the forests of the continent of Mira are all interconnected to each other and basically act as like a pocket dimension. So if there's a forest in the continent of Mira, it's interconnected with another forest, with other forests in... Yeah, I still use Discord. In this continent, the main continent where the story takes place. Oh, fuck. I should have gotten the world map. I'll find it another time. It doesn't matter. I'll show you the world map another time. I'll get that ready. Basically, the journey's made up. The journey... I don't think so, no. The journey is, its own thing. It goes... You go where you intend to go, unless the forest dictates otherwise. So there's no right direction. you just walk through the forest and hope you've not pissed it off. The forest is semi-sentient, so don't litter, alright? But basically wherever you want to go, you will end up no matter which direction you go in. Even if you step foot into the forest and immediately turn around. You'll be walking for a little bit, and I think you think, motherfucker, you wrote it. But I think how it works is like the distance will dilate like accordingly, you know, because like one thing I always say about the magic system is the magic system scales itself to be fair. You know, you can't make a 3-hour journey in 2 minutes. Maybe like half the time. Like it's definitely much quicker to walk through the forest blindly and on your own. Not advice I would give people in real life, but in terms of a magical forest, do as you will. All right, fuck around, find out. It's a magical forest. As long as you don't piss off the forest, you should get where you want to go. Also, as long as there's nowhere you need to go. Sometimes the forest... I don't believe in fate or destiny or anything like that, but sometimes the forest will go, I feel like you need to be here, actually. You know, like, they said it really well in Doctor Who. Like, there's an episode where the Doctor can actually talk to the TARDIS, and he goes, "You never take me where I want to go." And then the TARDIS says, "Yeah, well, I always take you where you need to go." It's kind of like that. Except it's not always. Most of the time, you'll end up where you want to, unless the forest thinks, you know what, I'm just gonna plop you over here. I feel like you could, maybe you'll have fun over here, or, you know, maybe there's something I need done. The forest doesn't have any, like, moral alignment or anything. It's not super sentient, but it's semi-sentient. It's magical. The magic is semi-sentient in its own right in the series. But yeah, that's that. I'll shut up for now.
Hey, there's a shooting star outside. I thought you'd want to see. Oh, wow. So pretty. Gorgeous, right? Is it just me, or is it getting uncomfortably close to the ground?
Look at Bean's fucking face. Look at. That's too good. I'm gonna change some things about this a little bit. Like, I might just remove the background entirely, and the hat as well, because, like, I feel like the colors are pissing me off. Like, the fact that there's no color on the hat pisses me off, but in my head it didn't make sense to put the colors on the hat. I don't remember why, so I'm just gonna opt to remove the hat altogether. Nice, thank you. But yeah, she's Northern now. They're still Irish. They're from Brooklyn, because they're based on like a Brennan Lee Mulligan character. You know, like someone who will immediately start telling you about how capitalism is the real villain, and it is. All right, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Fuck whatever Ephialtes is doing. The real problem is capitalism. Yeah. There you go. I think that's the full episode. That's the full episode. Yeah, nice. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this. You can't see it anymore. Hang on. Look down at the bottom of the screen. You see her. Fuck. For a split second, she had red hair. God. Oh, she was white, too. Jesus Christ. And there's Sun Wukong in the background. Sun Wukong is canon to Tales of Moira. Okay, there you go. Yeah, for a split second, she had just entirely red hair. God. You used to be skinny. Fuck. I will talk about all these characters in length, don't you worry. Oh my god, you were white too. Jesus Christ. You think that's bad? It was so much worse. I used to not be able to draw skin tones, and they all looked like they had... my ex's words, not mine. They all looked like they had jaundice. Luckily, I fixed that when I got to this point, but they weren't wrong, okay? So shout out to my ex. They we're still on very good terms. I let them critique my art a lot. Sometimes they just jump headfirst into the critiques, and I'm like, whoa, 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 slow down. Can we name one good thing first? I just finished this, and I'm very proud of it. But they've been very helpful in, like, critiquing my art and going, hey, this looks good, this makes no fucking sense, here's, you know, a lot of what I've learned comes from them. They also taught me that flails are fucking stupid, so I'll zoom back over here. This, right here, this mace, that used to be a flail, and I excitedly showed my at-the-time partner, and I was like, hey, I was originally going to give him a sword, but everyone has a sword, you know, that's basic shit. So what if I gave them a flail? Oh boy, did they let me have it. And it's become a running joke between us of how fucking useless flails are. So that's a mace now. What about a warhammer? Someone will have a warhammer at some point. But yeah. Now on to this part. This focuses on the characters of the A plot. They are talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. They're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. If you know anything about the creation process of Five Nights at Freddy's, this will be a common, like, argument for you. I wanted to establish these three characters as autistic, and the best way to do that, for me, was to have them argue about Five Nights at Freddy's. All of the characters are neurodivergent in some way, but, like, these three characters, the next four characters, including this first one that you're going to meet, are all specifically ADHD and are based on me and my friend group. So, fun fact, this is an actual argument I had with one of my friends.
Bestie, he winged the entire franchise. It wasn't some elaborate deep story from the beginning. He made half of it up!
Okay. I apologize as well. In the next part, I figure out how to tune the audio properly, so there's no mic peaking. I also figure out that there doesn't need to be 3-second pauses between every dialogue box. So after this episode, it flows so much better. But you can see this is the episode where I started getting really proud of my backgrounds. Started, okay? It's not perfect, but I was like, alright, these speech bubbles are taking up too much space. I want to be able to show off these backgrounds. So I finally decided, I made the executive decision to make the speech bubbles transparent.
But, like, that doesn't make it bad. I mean, he single-handedly invented a new horror genre as a last-ditch effort. Girl, that's still impressive as shit! Y'all.
I'm gonna go back and re-record those, in the style of, like, the next part. That's, the line deliveries are gonna be a lot better. This shot right here, two things I've changed about this. The way he says "lo juro por Dios," I've changed it. It sounds. I also need him to point out that he has a headache as well, because that's like a reoccurring bit for this episode. And I was meant to establish it here. But this smoke is now red, because they're all baked, shall we say, on a substance called lotus. The very same from Greek mythology. For all my Greek mythology fans out there, the lotus fruit. They ground up lotus roots and put them in a spliff. So there you go. I feel like I can get past some censorship issues by pointing that out. But they are baked. They are baked. And that was a cute little detail I added, was like the red smoke. I thought it looked really pretty. And I feel like I'm gonna have to fix his hairline a little bit, like here. It doesn't look perfect, but where he says "Lo juro por Dios," it's now "Te lo juro por Dios." Like I just added one word and it means the exact same thing. Yeah, pretty much. And I won't dwell on that topic too long, but you know, because of reasons. But I love these three. Kaylee, Tadu, and Willow are the trio. I love them so much. And people kept asking me, with bated breath, why is the pansexual window broken? This is why. Because he's chuffing a dart. It's an abandoned church. No one comes here. These guys came here to hang out. I designed this church to look pretty. I'll show you the full thing, actually. I have it now. On a slideshow. I've got the slideshow up. I'll use it at the end more. But there's Tadu posing and dressed like Avril Lavigne. If I can find it somewhere. I'll explain all... I'll explain all of this. But here it is. Here's the full window. I think a little bit, yeah. No, this is Noxy. I'll get back to all of this at the end. But here's the full window. I went through trial and error trying to design this what's the word? The window, because this is an Undertale reference, but no one could tell because I drew it wrong the first time. But let me point it all out for you. These two you know, look, they're gay windows. What do you want me to say? You can tell I got lazy and just copy pasted the flags for this version. I'm not apologizing. But up here onward is all an Undertale like tapestry. You know, there's the determination soul, there's 2 monster souls, and here's the colors of the other 6 human souls. So there's an Undertale reference for you. I will be pointing out all of the references as they come and go. And I'm really proud. I'm not proud of how thin this hallway looks. At the minute, like you can see, I didn't widen it, but in real life, shall we say, the corridor is not this thin. Okay, I'm still learning. I needed it all to fit on the page. Okay, the backgrounds are not perfect. I've not been drawing backgrounds very long. But there you go. I am really proud of the mosaic. That's the word. I'm really proud of the mosaic. It's very pretty. I love it so much. And the pansexual window isn't broken because Willow's homophobic. He's pansexual. All of the characters are pansexual until proven otherwise. These are Willow's flags. He's pan and trans. Technically he's trans mask, you know, he, they. But most of the time he just goes by he, him. Which is whatever. And I also I designed 2 energy drinks, okay? There's this one, which I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called like it has like biblical connotations to it because you know it's no shock that it's based on monster energy, but it's called like fucking uh Mark of the Beast or something stupid like that. It's I can find it somewhere. I've got a PNG of it. But the other one that I designed is called Ambrosia, and it's based on Mango Loco Monster Energy. It's a mango flavored energy drink with a similar but legally distinct color scheme from Mango Loco. Okay, um, and only in writing this episode, only in continuing to write Tales of Moira, did I realize how much I actually really like Greek mythology. Because I thought most of the references were going to be Norse mythology. I don't think I'm yet to make a single Norse mythology reference in this episode. Except for, like, how they dress, kind of. You know, like wearing tunics and everything like that. You're probably wondering how they have modern clothing in a medieval fantasy setting. I will get to that. I'll get to that. You know, Lace Coat is dead, but he's got purple laces on his on his docks. For anyone who cares, who's interested, there you go. Have fun with that. This bag, I have in real life. You can see me walking around with this bag. It is tattered, destroyed, and broken. I've had it for many years, and I can't afford another one, so I'm stuck with it. But that's my bag, right there. Which is very handy when I draw Willow interacting with this bag. Is because I rotoscope a lot of these. This isn't rotoscoped. Most of these, I didn't start rotoscoping yet, I don't think, but a lot of these later on are rotoscoped, and I learn a lot from rotoscoping as well. Say what you want about it. I have learned a lot, okay? But I'm gonna let the episode continue.
Puro por Dios. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to be a buzzkill. It's just a little too loud is all.
My fault, King. I get heated when I talk about horror game lore and also get baked.
Who's...
Oh, Willow ordered food? I got it.
What? No. They don't deliver to the middle of the woods, Tadu.
What are the implications of DoorDash existing in a medieval fantasy setting? I'll get to it! Okay, I'll get back to it. But that's another transition I want to add, like, another frame for. There's... It's not... Well, technically it's not. Well, I'll get to that. I'll circle back to that. But, you actually see what's in the bag at some point in a cute little visual. But this transition right here, I want to put another panel in as well, like opening the door and seeing who's behind it, because like I don't believe in show don't tell. I'll show and tell, okay? I'll mix it up, all right? Show don't tell is stupid to me. It's not the cardinal rule of writing that everyone thinks it is. Sometimes you can tell people, it's fine, all right? If you can do it in an interesting way, and a lot of the times it is better to show it, don't get me wrong, but like sometimes I'll just tell you. I'll tell you what's up, alright? Here I want to open the door and show you who's behind it, because getting back to this scene, it's a little jarring, to just go from this being the last thing you see to what we go from next with no context, and we'll circle back to that, but here, this next part I'm really proud of, except for the line deliveries. Like, it goes on too long, the speech, the line deliveries for this next part is very dry, I found listening to it back, and, like, certain shots linger for a long time. You'll see.
Tadu. Oh, good. Finally awake. How are you feeling, dear trespasser?
Trespasser? I'm sorry. I don't know how I got here. Where am I?
My memory's super foggy. Well, simply put, my dear, you're not supposed to be here yet. And not in this form, either. You were killed by the Lich King Morpheus. You were taken before your time, as a direct result of your own meddling in...
See, Morpheus. I changed it to Ephialtes. Now I'll tell you why. I'll tell you for why. I originally picked the name Morpheus because Morpheus is the god of dreams in Greek mythology. I told you, I'm really into Greek mythology more than I realized. But Morpheus in Greek mythology is the name of the god of dreams. The Greek, Norse, and biblical god do also all exist in this series. How? I'll explain it another time. I've explained it in my TikToks, but it's a lengthy explanation. I won't go into it here. You can go seek that information out in your own time if you want to, if you're that interested. I do have a genuine answer. But that's not important. What's important is I called him Morpheus because God of Dreams, he haunts your nightmares. But then I found out through a quick 5-second Google search and 2 seconds of using my brain, what's the Greek word for nightmare? It's Ephialtes. And there's an interesting story behind why it's the word for nightmare. And I'll get into it in the next part. The next part will explain, he'll tell you why he's called Ephialtes. In a cool, like, scary way. But yeah, Ephialtes is the Greek word for nightmare. He's a nightmare manifest, alright? That's super cool. But look at how big these fucking speech bubbles are. And
matters of the divine.
then it just
And he
lingers
left you with
on
the
these
gift
shots
of
for
a
so
swift
long.
and rapid reincarnation, which brought you here to my realm. Wait, so I'm dead? Lich King? Reincarnation? I'm sorry to intrude on your realm, but what do I do now? I'm really sorry. This is just a lot. Take a breath, dear. Gods above, you don't need to apologize so much, you know. Goodness, you are chatty. Yes, currently you're dead, but you'll shortly be reincarnated. You...
Also, I shouldn't need to tell you who this is. It should be fairly obvious to you. But in case it's not, let me help you out. Look familiar? There you go. Like I said, this is my fucking VTuber lore. But and another detail for this, there's 2 things I want to point out. I forgot the first one, but the second one is look at my eyes and look at her eyes right now. There's no light in her eyes. That's because she's dead. I feel like that's self-explanatory. But it was a cute little detail. I remembered the second thing I wanted to say. For being able to distinguish the 2 of us, I'm Stevie, and I'll refer to her as Swippy. Swippy is an anagram of her full name, Stevie Willow Ignatius Pendragon Yggdrasil. Ignacio, sorry. Stevie Willow Ignacio... Stevie Willow Ignacio Pendragon Yggdrasil. Why does she have a Hispanic middle name? Because the main characters all got to, like, pick her name, and Willow threw in Ignacio in there because he was considering using that name at one point in his transition. He landed on Alejandro. So his full name is Willow Alejandro Garcia. So, fun fact. They do all have full names. Willow's is his first name. He has 2 first names. You can either call him Willow or Alejandro. I'm probably never gonna bring that up. Ever. Ever. Everyone just calls him Willow. because that's the name he goes with most of the time. But his full name is Willow Alejandro Garcia. So there you go. And you know, Pendragon and Yggdrasil. There you go. There's your first Norse mythology reference. Yggdrasil is a landmark location in this series. It's basically home base. All right, and we get to it at the end of the episode. We will get to Yggdrasil. We will get Norse mythology references. I promise. I swear to God. But yeah, there you go. Onward.
Gods above, you don't need to apologize.
That's the other thing. A third thing. You don't need to apologize so much. I cannot count on my 2 hands and 2 feet how many times I've been told that. I've gotten a lot better at it now in more recent years, but this is set in 2023. She's 19 at the time. I used to apologize. I still struggle a bit with it, but I would apologize for fucking everything. And people would always tell me, Stevie, you don't need to apologize so much. That's a running gag for the first 2 episodes. Only the first 2 episodes, and maybe it'll come back every once in a while, but it's going to be its strongest in the first 2 episodes, and then I'm going to dial it back before it gets on my fucking nerves. And it already has. I want to beat the shit out of 2023 me. Let me tell you. She apologizes for fucking everything. For breathing, okay? And everyone is just gonna tell her, look, chill out. You don't need to keep apologizing. You dumb bitch! No shit! You don't need to fucking apologize for everything. But yeah, that's a running joke for the first 2 episodes. And then, like, by the end of episode 2, she fucking grows a pair. Alright? And gets more... Because that's the other thing, is her being my self-insert. She's obviously the most based on me. I'm very... In real life especially, I'm very... like nervous and shy around new people and a little bit reclusive. But like it doesn't take me long to get comfortable around people. As soon as I establish that I can trust these people, it's full mask off. You get the full fucking... You understand why I'm diagnosed with autism very quickly. Yeah, so that it's only you're gonna want to punch her for the first 2 episodes. I know, me too. Let her go through her character arc, okay? Let her grow a fucking spine, alright? It will happen before episode 3. Yeah, onward.
Apologize so much, you know. Goodness, you are chatty. Yes, currently you're dead, but you'll shortly be reincarnated. You are in my domain. I am Nova, a god of the bridge between life and death, among other things. Now, my dear, you're going to want to sit down for this. Listen well. Alright, I'm sorry. So I started a fight with a lich. Why would I do that? You must stop apologizing.
I didn't unmute. Yeah, there's the joke again. Look how much fucking text is here. Look at this jarring amount of text that lasts for 20 seconds. Watching this part back, I didn't like that. That pissed me off. That annoyed me. Nothing was happening. I'm thinking of, like... I don't know if I'll change this segment too much. Because, you know... I want to finish the episode, you know? I don't want to be stuck working on it forever. But I'll maybe like add like mouth movement when the character's talking. You know, it's closed when they're not, it's open when they are. But this it lingers for too long on a specific
So much, dear.
frame, and
His
it
plan
annoys
is
me.
to slaughter the humans of your world and plunge the realms into an eternal war. Return the world to its roots, he says. And you disagreed, I suppose. I can't fault you, but you were more than outclassed, obviously.
Isn't there anyone who can stop him? What's stopping him now?
Well, he's waiting for you, of course. I want you to understand, dear trespasser. That fiend intends to kill you again. After all, you promised to kill him, no matter how many lifetimes it takes.
Now, I was really proud of this shot. This was super cool. Okay, I've changed Nova's eyes. They're now pitch black with golden pupils to sort of invoke imagery of like, because they're a god of the space between life and death, right? So that invokes imagery of like Greek mythology again. It's supposed to make you think of the ferryman who sails you across the river Styx if you give them a coin. So their eye looks like a coin, you know, to invoke that sort of imagery. I thought that was super cool and interesting, and a detail I added after I made this episode and will be in the final cut. I also you'll see Nova uses they them pronouns. You can see here, but they don't look very androgynous. That's on purpose. Non-binary people don't owe you androgyny. I also just wanted to work on anatomy a little bit. This part in particular, where I just did the background look is visually appealing, but it was very simple and easy to do, and I thought I should overcompensate with poses and stuff, and I did that especially with Nova. You can see, and that's that's why they're dressed in gym wear. No other reason than I just wanted to show off my anatomy skills. And I think I've done really well. Like, the back muscles were super fun to do. This pose, so sick. I love it so much. Yeah, we love Nova. Nova's so cool.
You promised to kill him.
Oh, also, I'm gonna their voice is relatively gonna stay the same in the final episode, but it sounds very androgynous already, but like they're supposed to be like a fusion of masc and femme. So like when I want to emphasize certain lines, I'm gonna overlap it, the same voice line with their normal voice, and then like a deeper, like more growling, angry like line delivery. That's gonna be super fun to do in the final cut. That should be super fun, because Nova, as a god of the dead, they do have a responsibility to be like gentle, I guess, and like comforting most of the time, but death is also scary. So like I want to show that off. I want to show off the responsibilities of what a god should be like, and the realities of death is fucking scary. You know, it's still scary, and seen in a negative light by most people. Which, fair enough. You know, it sucks. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Death fucking sucks. But for the most part, there's supposed to be a mix between like eerie and comforting, if that makes sense. Sort of like death. Like, for the person dying, death should be a smooth, comforting transition in a normal situation. This is not a normal situation. What these two are dealing with is it's breaking the rules. But usually, for someone crossing over to the next life, Nova would be much more comforting. That's why they have a very soft-spoken voice. I love Nova. Might be one of my favorite characters. Again, I say that about everyone. But yeah, we continue.
No matter how many lifetimes it takes. I think that's how you put it. Not that you'd remember. That creature has given you until the winter solstice.
So, what, am I the chosen one? I I got told to stop being so loud for that line delivery. It wasn't the best it could be. I'm also saving the light Yagami laugh for the next part. So next part, be prepared. I'm gonna go full light Yagami, do the full 9 yards, okay? Because I've always wanted to, specifically for Ephialtes, all right? But that scene is very important to me because, again, I don't believe in fate or destiny. And as a result, I don't believe in the chosen one trope. The chosen one trope is fucking stupid. Even in this world where gods are commonplace and interact much more freely with mortals than they would in, our reality, let's say. And there's a reason for that. I'll tell you another time. Or Noxie will tell you at the end of the episode. It is cool, alright? I like my answer. But, anyway. I wanted to destroy any notions of Swippy being remotely important. She's here because, she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And she's been thrust into this situation. No one chose her for this divine journey to save the world. She's here by accident. And I immediately wanted to cast away any notions of, a prophesized hero or anything like that. Because in the way she's written, being a reincarnation of someone who fights evil, it invokes similar ideas of, Link from The Legend of Zelda. And Link is the prophesied hero of legend, the reincarnation of the hero spirit. Swippy is not. Swippy is not that. Swippy is a regular creature. There's nothing remotely special about her, alright? She's just a regular mortal person. She does have a magic eye, though. I'll explain why another time in the episode. How magical? What does it do? I don't know. She does have dark vision. How about that? She has dark vision. There you go. Is that satisfactory? She has dark vision and maybe some cool other, it's basically her arcane focus, I guess. Her eye is her arcane focus because it's got magic in it. And she got that from Ephialtes. How? A little treat. A little treat from Ephialtes. Wanted to give her a fighting chance, I guess. As well as the hair. Half of her hair is white from the trauma of being murdered and thrown out a window and thrust into a new body for her immediately. That's traumatic as shit. So the body reflects that. Immediately traumatized. Immediately. Oh no, someone makes an OC that's immediately traumatized. Oh, shock fucking horror, I know. What do you want from me? Thank you for following, Orange. Hi. Thank you. But we continue, and this text box looks different. Why? Where did this person come from? No one knows, because again, I forgot to do a shot that would make sense to explain where they come from. This is an ethereal space, so they kind of just show up anyway. But I could show you that. I was showing this to one of my friends, and they were like, it would have been, like, really useful if this third party that showed up out of nowhere, if it was explained if they showed up at all, or if they've just been sitting there in the background the whole time. I'll do that in the final cut, I promise. I'll draw Yuri manifesting into this space. Yuri was sort of like listening the whole time, because they were like interested in and like watching the events of the prologue transpire, and they tell you that, but like I don't do the job as the author to show you that they've just appeared. That's my fault, and I'm gonna go back and fix that in the final episode. I know I'm very lucky to have the friends that I do. They've been a huge help in making this series.
Oh, bless you, you're serious.
Why shouldn't they be?
Oh? Do you have something to add, O sovereign hero? You also show yourself to meddle in our affairs again? Does it feel personal?
Actually, yes. After seeing Morpheus make a reappearance, I've made the decision to make my return. Surely you know me well enough to know that by now. I want to go with them, if they'll have me. I've thought about it since their encounter with Morpheus. I was there the first time, the time after that, and I intend to be there long hereafter. If this isn't the last time they show their face.
I love Yuri's design so much. When I was designing Yuri, I was like, this is a medieval fantasy story. I can just make shit up. I want to take creative liberties in how people look. Alright, and Yuri was my first attempt at that. And I love them so much. Yuri is... Yuri fits the archetype of Link much better. Again, Fate or Destiny is bullshit. They weren't a prophesized hero or anything. I had to put in parentheses how to pronounce it properly because I gave it a silly little fantasy spelling. But this is their design. Yuri immediately tells you that they have close ties with Ephialtes. Alright, they've been doing this dance for millennia, probably. Yuri is very old. And every time Morpheus reemerges, Yuri comes back to stop them. Because of their original first encounter, which is what got them this cool, like, gilded design that they have, like the golden eyelashes, the glitter, the freckles, you know. I'll allow me to explain. So originally in their first encounter, Morpheus won. Ephialtes won, but the gods saw what Yuri was trying to do, and Yuri was the only one who actually fucking tried. And the gods saw this Lich not only as a blight, as a personal insult, but as a problem. And Yuri was the only one who even tried. So they made a deal where, and I will explain this in lore at some point in the story. You shouldn't have to get all this information from this stream specifically. It's gonna be in the story. It's gonna be addressed. That is the plan. Don't worry. And I'm gonna explain it in a much more concise, more digestible way. Maybe like in a flashback or something. I don't know. But they made a deal with Yuri that every time Ephialtes shows themselves again, Yuri would go back to stop them. I gave specifics on when and how they can return. That was a stupid choice. I'm keeping it vague. But there are obviously reasons as to why Yuri can't come back properly this time. Which final cut. Trust me, alright? Just trust me. But originally, the plan was Yuri would come back like every, I don't know, 1,000 years or so. Which is annoying because they have a lifespan of 1,000 years. So it's like 1,000 years on, 1,000 years off. But anyway, when Yuri comes back, they would act as the sovereign ruler of Moira, of the realm of Moira. But I'm an abolitionist and a commie, so Yuri was, in Yuri's mind, they saw all these cultures and individual communities evolving and thought, this is too much for me specifically to deal with. I can't govern all of you. You guys need to be able to do your own thing. So Yuri abolished their title as sovereign ruler. But basically they're elf Jesus, alright? They they come back whenever the world needs them. Does that make sense? There you go. But yeah. I don't know. I say elf Jesus because they could be like a descendant of elves. You know, they've got the pointy ears. Then again, everyone's got pointy ears. But this could be like a prototype elf, I guess. Sort of. Or elves could be an offshoot of whatever Yuri is. You know, you got the pointy ears. Even dwarves and halflings and goblins have pointy ears. That's not a unique characteristic to elves, alright? I like pointy ears. But these ones are like especially exaggerated. You know, they've got horns as well. They've got cat ears. They got this weird little bug mouth that I really love. I didn't add the fur on their shoulder here, but this isn't skin. This is fur. Yuri is very fluffy and soft, and I love them. They are also very, very tall. Very tall. But the gold in their character design specifically is like a gift from the gods of like, to like show that they're blessed by the gods and that you can trust them. They're cool. They're a patron. They're a saint, I guess. They're a saint, yeah. Not all saints are gonna have that. You know, like, if I ever show off Jesus, he's not gonna have gold on him. But like, for Yuri specifically, I thought it was cute, you know. But yeah. And there you go. Second reference to Norse mythology. Ragnarok has come and gone. The Norse gods are fucking dead. So there's a fun... Not only does it establish that the Norse gods exist, which would imply that other gods exist. They do. If there's a mythology or religion that isn't a cult that you're thinking of, it probably exists. So I had to specify that isn't a cult. So Scientology isn't canon. Scientology isn't canon. Anyway, moving on.
They might not be your chosen one, but they're mine. I'm going back, and I'm gonna make up for Ragnarok.
Yeah, that line, they might not be your chosen one, but they're mine. Again, that's... Yuri's a sweetheart, okay? By default, I wanted to write Yuri as a little sweetheart. That doesn't allude to any kind of prophecy or anything like that. That was just them being sweet. Alright? I love Yuri. It might be my favorite character.
Call it delusion if you will, but I just have the feeling it's time for me to head back to the mortal realms. Albeit in an unorthodox way this time. There's so much I want to tell you. I'm sure you have.
The size difference. They are 7'2". Drawing their side profile was actually really fun. You guys remember when there was discourse about facial crests? I drew this before that discourse happened, and I would have drawn it thereafter. Fuck that discourse. Facial crests are cool. Look at this. This is awesome. It makes them look more distinct. Real life people have facial crests. It's a normal facial feature. So to anyone who was pissy about facial crests in art styles, you didn't need to cancel facial crests. You could just say, I don't jive with facial crests. It's not for me. That's fine. Move on with your day. I do like them. And I gave one to Yuri. They have, look at their nose as well. I don't know what kind of animal they have a nose like. Yuri does also have toe beans. I never show off any character's legs, like, ever. Which I'm really bad for. But Yuri does have toe beans. And, like, digigrade fursuit legs. Alright. Just something I thought was worth pointing out, because it never gets shown off in this here. But
They're mine. I'm going back, and I'm gonna make up for Ragnarok. Call it delusion if you will, but I just have the feeling it's time for me to head back to the mortal realms. Albeit in an unorthodox way this time. There's so much I want to tell you. I'm sure you have many questions, and I'll do my best to answer them in time, but for now I'll just fill you in on my plan. I can't return to the mortal realm without a physical form, which takes 100 years after my death to properly manifest.
Yeah, I'm gonna retcon that. I was told to keep it vague, so I'm not gonna give exact dates. So I might not ever make this canon, but the idea I'm working with is it takes 1,000 years to form a new lifetime, which makes sense because their lifespan is 1,000 years. There you go. Have fun with that. But I'm gonna retcon that so it's more vague. I want to keep the timeline a bit vaguer, so I don't have to retcon stuff in the future. Alright, if I get something wrong. There you go. I'm being evil. There's a writing tip for you. Keep it vague. She's also so short. Look at her. 5'8". I'm 5'8" in real life. There you go. If you ever wondered how tall I am, I'm 5'8". I don't know why you'd be wondering that, but there you go.
And it's only been 74. Don't worry, I'll explain more later. But my plan is to head back with you, in your body. With your permission, of course. I have a plan to get myself a new body when we get to the mortal realm. Alright. If I can help, I want to. I might not fully understand what's happening yet, but if I can stop the Lich King, or at least help, I will. Very well then, Yuri. You will go with the other trespasser, and...
So, yeah. Yuri, can't... You can't re-enter the mortal realms without a body. Yuri doesn't have one of those right now. It might not look like that. You know, they're walking around just fine. It's manifesting, alright? Fuck you. So the plan is for Yuri to head back in Swippy's body to... I know that's what they just said, but I want to tell you anyway, just in case. Double check. You know, to come back in Swippy's body and in her mind subconsciously guide her along the way until Yuri can get their own body back and hopefully be the one to deal with Ephialtes. We'll see how that goes. Who gets to deal with Ephialtes is going to be a big deal in this series. Because everyone wants to take a swing at that motherfucker, let me tell you.
Aid them in slaying the one who defiles my craft. By passing through this door, you shall also pass back into the land of the living. Look after each other. Don't worry, Nova. We'll look out for each other. They're gonna have to catch me up.
That that squeak is is how I learned that in Audacity, the audio editing software I use, when you have multiple tracks, when you're recording one and it overlaps with another track, it'll play that sound, which can be useful. It wasn't useful in trying to record Yuri's lines because I did the squeak first, and I wasn't prepared. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. So while recording Yuri's voice line here, I just hear
After each other. Don't worry, Nova. We'll look out for each other. They're gonna have to catch me up on what
I just hear that and start crying because it caught me off guard. It was too funny. What I am gonna do is when I go back and edit this is I'm gonna break this up into 2 panels. You know, like probably cut it off here and then do this as a separate one, and then on the second panel put them putting their hand on my head. And then put the squeak in, because the squeak is supposed to be the reaction to Yuri placing their hand upon her head. But that isn't being portrayed very well. But yeah, there you go. Fun fact, I died laughing recording Yuri's voice lines here.
I've missed in the past 70 years. And of course, I'll help them where I can. What? Yeah, I'll try my best. Wait. I can't promise that I'll always save you, but I'll always be close. And honestly, I think you can do this. You'll be alright in the end. Even without my help. I just wanted you to know I believe in you. Oh! Thank you! I really appreciate that. Okay. Now I'm ready.
For this frame specifically, I wanted Yuri looking at the camera because divine characters associated with the divine, especially gods, are more than capable of breaking the fourth wall. So I wanted Yuri looking at the camera saying this in case anyone needed to hear something like this, you know? So Yuri's not just talking to Swippy, they're also talking to you, which I thought was a cute little detail. That was very important that I put in there, to me at least.
Do this. You'll be alright.
Here since the
Hey, what? Okay. Now I'm ready. I'm right behind you. Hey, wow, you made it.
the Undertale sound effect. I'm using a lot of stock sound effects for excuse me, for this part of the series. Like the progress updates. I don't know if I'm gonna go back and change them all. I don't know if I credited Toby Fox. I didn't. But in like the next part, I credit everyone I steal from. There's a few jokes in here as well that I'm gonna point out when they're stolen. And in the final episode, I'm gonna do like a collage of all of my stolen jokes with like the original. I'll point it out when we get to it, okay? But yeah, now on to the next part. Now I've labeled these 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9. That's entirely made up. That's just so it looks neat and tidy. None of these are actual like pages. I've made that shit up entirely. Just so it looks neat and tidy, and it's easier for me to go through it, you know, rather than saying part one of however many. Okay, you have a good night. You take care. But yeah, I made that up. That's a lie. There's no pages. These aren't pages. I'm bullshitting you.
Oh my... Where am I? What happened? Where's Yuri? Up. They're up, guys.
See,
Yuri!
here it is again. The scars on his massive titties, that shouldn't be there. That was a mistake I forgot to take out at the last minute. I had made the executive decision to remove them at this point, but I forgot to remove them. My fault. They won't be in the final cut until the end of the episode. But there you go. And there's Hazel and Casey again. Here's where the stories start to intersect. This is the pilot is very A plot, B plot central, because it's the pilot. I'm supposed to show you, like, what the story's about, what I can do, show off some of my skills. There's an animated segment in this one. That's fun. This is the first time I tried animation. Well, no, it's not the first time, but it's the first time I actually, like, show it off. Alright? Here we go.
Up. They're up, guys. Oh, they're actually alive. Hey. You okay there? I don't... Who are you all? Why is he shirtless? I'm sorry. I'm really... You're okay, you're okay. Just breathe, you're losing blood. We'll fix you up first, then we can play 20 questions, okay? Yep, I'm on it. I'm on it.
See, that was cool as hell. That was the first time I tried animating, and I had a lot of fun doing that. It's scruffy to high hell, all right, but I think it's cool. It looks nice. And this frame specifically, I have had a battle with this frame, and I still got it wrong. I'm going to show you what it should look like, and it's to do with Kaylee's body type, because women's body types are there's so many, and not all of them get shown off properly. Casey, she's obviously much more chubby. Kaylee isn't supposed to be chubby specifically, but she's definitely not skinny. And so, like, I made the cute little rolls smaller here. I don't know if you can see, but that's what I wanted to do here, is make the I've been looking for a word for this body type for so long. The closest I could get is Google Venus stomach. It's really cute. I love it. That's Kaylee's body type. And you know, I think it looks really pretty. I love it so much. The best way I can describe it is Casey is pretty chubby and Kaylee is cute chubby, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's another retcon that I'm gonna have to grapple with. I apologize. And here we go. Here's what I want to talk about with the green. I used green for this spell specifically because it's a healing spell. You know, you picture healing magic. It's either going to be red or green. I feel like I should have gone with red. Jesus. Thank you. I feel like I should have gone with red because fuck. Because I wanted to emphasize the use of green, tying it to Ephialtes, right? So using green healing magic here, the only other time you see magic being used, it's also green. I'm now worried that the association is going to be, well, magic's green. No, magic can be whatever the fuck color you're feeling, alright? It's... So how magic works is there's no strict rules. I talked about this again on my TikTok page, and I will explain it in, like, an episode one day. But it's kind of like coding, right? You know, there's a method called spaghetti coding where you literally just fuck around and find out. If you know the crux of what you're doing, you can cast a spell in one way or another. And an important component of casting a spell is being able to visualize it. How the fuck are you going to cast a spell if you don't believe you can cast a spell, right? So each spell will look different for different people because it's how they picture themselves doing it. Kaylee, you can see here, she's drawing the power out from, like, her arcane focus. This gem right here in the middle of her crutch is I called it opalite quartz because it's a magical quartz gem that has, like, rainbow colors in it. Very subtle rainbow colors. I'll see if I can...
Okay. Yep.
You can't see. But there's very subtle, like, opal colors in the quartz. And opalite quartz is sort of like... Because in, like, Wiccan practices, quartz is, like, the magic amplifying stone. So I was like, alright, I'll build on that. So, if you want to amplify your magic, quartz is really great to have. So I'm really happy with the design of her staff. It doubles as a staff, a crutch, and a cane. 3 in 1. You know, you've got the crutch handle. You can... I'm gonna have to rewind. I apologize.
20 questions, okay? Yep.
Yeah, you can see the crutch handle. You can see the cane handle, and it works as a staff as well. It's a wizard staff. What do you want from me? She has a crutch because she has chronic pain. All right. I'll tell you from experience, my legs fucking suck. And that pain doesn't go away. It's chronic pain, but it's not to the point. My doctors think, at least, it's not to the point where I need a crutch. But I do know a lot of other autistic people, especially in women, where it's, like, tied to... not tied to their autism specifically, but as like a buy one, get one free, you get chronic pain, too. So I was like, well, that... You know what would be cool is if I gave her, like, a crutch and used it as her arcane focus. You know, I'm using D&D terms. That's not specifically what it's called. It's called a staff, you know? It's just a cute little detail that I thought would be, like, a fun, like, world-building thing. And you're probably thinking, oh, why doesn't she heal it with her healing magic? I'll let her explain. Kaylee?
I'm on it. Whoa. I feel so much better. I'm glad. It was the best I could do. No, really, I feel amazing. Thank you. Oh, heads up. Healing magic doesn't reverse an injury, it speeds up the healing process. So you do have a cool scar now. Bonus. Neat.
Okay, so there you go. Healing magic, because that was the first issue I wanted to address in writing a magic system. Oh no, I'm sorry. But healing magic is over fucking powered, right? So my solution to that was to, instead of reversing an injury, it speeds up the healing process. You know, without all the scientific problems that would come with that, because it's magic. Magic exists in spite of science, alright? So if you get your arm chopped off, I hate to tell you, your arm's gone. It sucks to be you, dude. You lost an arm. You can't fix that. But you can speed up the healing process. That'll stop the bleeding. You won't be in as much pain. and now you can deal with the situation at hand as to why you lost an arm. You know, um, that that that's that was very important to me. One thing that was going to bother me is how do I deal with healing magic, because this could either be really OP unless I figure out a way to deal with it, and that's my way of dealing with it. Um, also, uh, chronic pain that's how your body grew. All right, that's the other thing is, if you could heal genetic injuries like that with healing magic, that would imply that there's a perfect ideal body, and that's eugenics bullshit. I'm not doing that. And that's not how these injuries work, because well, they're not injuries. That's how your body has grown and adapted to the world. You can't fix what isn't broken, right? So it's not an injury you can fix. With shapeshifting, you probably could if you were that dedicated to it, but shapeshifting is so much harder and more difficult and strenuous to learn. And then there's also, you've got to train your body to hold that form. Shapeshifting is wildly inefficient for shit like that, right? So there you go. That's how if you want the scientific answer as to why a character in a wheelchair exists in a D&D campaign and you're annoyed that it's too woke, one, fuck yourself. Two, that's not how bodies work. That it's not an injury. That's how their body has grown. You can't heal how someone's body is without going into Nazi implications, all right? Nice, thank you. Uh, but yeah, those were very important implications to address, you know, because this shit means a lot to me. All right, it and I as an autistic person fucking hate eugenics. So there you go. Uh, Onward we go. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at segues. Okay, now it's question time.
Oh, right, sorry. You don't gotta apologize, you're fine.
uh, what I do when someone's off screen but talking is I put their name under the speech bubble of where they're talking. But obviously Swippy doesn't have a name yet, so I've just put unnamed over apologetic creature. Also, that's wrong. It's it's not I, it's I. No, that's the wrong way round. It is I. No, I did it wrong. Originally, again, someone corrected me on this. I put Ay, Dios mío. That's wrong. It's Ay, Dios mío. There you go. A little fun bit of trivia for you, which didn't matter. But it does point out that I am stupid. So there you go. Have fun with that.
Oh, okay, sorry. Ay, Dios mío. So, why are you shirtless?
In my defense, you were naked, so I gave you my shirt. The bar was kinda in the ground.
Oh. By the way, you have amazing tits, my dude.
Immaculate titties, breasty.
Marvelously muscular, manly male mammary mommy milkers, my man.
Aw, thank you.
Okay, I have a question now. What's your name and pronouns?
Yeah, also, how and or why did you fall out of the sky?
What?
Oh yeah, they fell out of the sky.
I love that segment so much. I think this is my favorite. Just entirely M's throughout the entire sentence. Just for the bit, for fun. And yes, they're talking about Hazel specifically. Hazel does have nice tits. Look.
Oh, thank you.
And I fixed the scar issue, but let me see if I can. I've got it in the slideshow. I hear some. I'll get back to this. Here's some alternate Swippy outfits that I may never use. Orange I actually showed you. I will not ask what I hear in my ear. Shame. I have it here somewhere. I apologize. 1 second. I'll explain all of these. These are all here for a reason. There you go. This isn't important to the story whatsoever. This is just... This is just... Let me move it so you can actually see it. A lot of you will know what this is a reference to. So you're welcome. There you go. I did this for fun. That's never gonna show up in the story. I just did this for the bit. I was bored. You ever wonder why Tales of Moira takes so long? It's because I'm doing shit like this, okay? I'm joking about Hazel's fat tits.
Okay, I have a question now. What's your name and pronouns? Yeah, also, how and or why did you fall out of the sky? What? Oh yeah, they fell out of... Yeah, also, how and or why did you fall out of the sky? What?
And here you go. You can see I used the wrong fucking... You can see the creation process of this background. I did it wrong. There's also Willow choking on lotus smoke as well. I think I did it in his line. When I did his line delivery for what, he's like coughing a little bit like, what? like that. Because he was chuffing a dart before the revelation that Swippy fell out of the sky. And I've turned all of these into reaction images in my Discord server. I love it so much. I love this frame. It's so silly. It's... Also, the entire time we're in this church, Taru does not move from this spot. He stays sitting on the step the entire time. And I'm a little bit bummed about that. But now, the point in the story where I'm at now, everyone's outside again, so I've got no excuse. So, now I have an excuse to draw Taru posing differently. You know, like, Avril Lavigne. That's gonna be in episode 2, though. That's his outfit for episode 2, if you're wondering. Where is it? I'll explain all of these in due time, okay? There's a reason for all of these, I promise. Yeah. Here it is. Taru, this is Taru's outfit for the second episode. I've already got it planned out. Why? Because I wanted to draw Taru dressed as Avril Lavigne. He loves listening to Avril Lavigne. What do you want me to say? What else do I need to say? I do need to get this out of the way, so the episode can continue. I apologize.
Oh yeah, they fell out of the sky. I did?
You guys didn't hear the huge
I did?
explosion not far from here?
Nah, we got bigged before you guys got here. Awesome.
Okay, well, that was them. That was,
Anyway, one question at a time, guys. First, name and pronouns, then falling out of the sky. I don't actually know, I'm sorry. Sorry.
You can see the tiny little... Sorry. In the tiniest speech bubble. Right all the way over here. I love it.
you don't know your own name, bestie? Like, you don't remember it?
Oh, can we name them? Sure. What about Willow? That's a cute name. That's my name? Oh, right, sorry. No, see, because that's a normal reason to apologize. You're fine, by the way, Casey.
Freddy.
No, Taru, we're not naming them fucking Freddy.
That bit almost didn't make it in the episode. Not because I thought it wasn't good enough. I thought it was good enough. I just almost forgot to put it in. I was about to post this episode, and then I realized something's missing. Kaylee doesn't actually hate Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, Taru's a calico. Kaylee is just sick of hearing Tadu glaze Five Nights at Freddy's. That's why she's so pissed off at Tadu for trying to. I would be pissed off if someone tried to name me Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's. All right, if Swippy was locked in and had her subconscious memories from her past life when she grew up on fucking YouTube and knew about Five Nights at Freddy's in this present moment, she'll get to that. By the end of the episode, someone will unlock her memories. But as of right now, Kaylee is the one who stopped Swippy being named Freddy. Thank God. This was never a conscious decision I was gonna make. This is just for the bit. This pose is also so cool. I love it. And bad bitch as well. Kaylee is a bad bitch. She's so cool. But, Freddy.
Oh, right, sorry. No, see, because that's a normal reason to apologize. You're fine, by the way, Casey.
Freddy.
No, Tadu, we're not naming them
Oh,
fucking
oh,
Freddy.
oh, 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 oh,
Freddy.
That's the Matt Pat pose. I completely forgot to mention. That's the fucking Matt Pat pose. I didn't put it in the slideshow, but I have an alternate version of this panel, and it's Tadu saying, "I have a theory," and it's it's the fucking game theory pose. I find myself too funny. No one should find themselves this funny. I love this pose.
No, Tadu, we're not naming them fucking Freddy.
We're not naming them fucking Freddy.
Right? Because what if that's why they fell out of the sky? What if they're an angel?
This is another scene to destroy Swippy's self-esteem. Someone, sometimes Swippy, not in this case, tries to put any kind of narrative importance on her existence, immediately gets shot down.
I don't think they're an angel. That's a cute pet name, though. Yeah, maybe you're right. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall to see if anything sticks, I guess.
Guy.
Yeah, another blow to Swippy's self-esteem. Fuck you. It's important that you don't think. You think she's the shit. She's not even a fart, okay? It's important that you know that. Alright?
Guys, we're literally making this harder than we need to. Let's do pronouns first. Hazel's too old. He's struggling a bit.
I'm 26.
I really don't think I mind that much
26.
what you guys use. Okay, great.
The fucking Undertale stock sound effect again. Oh, this dialogue exchange. What about Fern? I like that name. I don't think it's for me. Not Fern. This is important. Bear this in mind. It's important. It'll come up later. Not in episode 1, but later in the series. Someone named Fern is important, okay? That's all. Also, Lazarus is the name of the dude who was resurrected by Jesus, when he resurrected. So it's another mythology reference. That's why I threw the name Lazarus in there, because of like the parallels of being reborn, of coming back to life. It was just a cute little thing. Anyway, no segue. We're just continuing.
Oh, Fern. I like that name.
I don't think it's for me.
Okay, at least you're honest.
Oh, Lazarus!
Someone also pointed out Tadu sounds like he was personally offended by that. That wasn't on purpose. He wasn't. Don't worry. This segment, it's quick, but there's so much lore in it, and I'll go through it all as quickly as I can. But this was just like, I thought, what could be like a fun little interesting way of world building, and I was like, well, it's as much as it is a comic, it's also based on like RPGs and stuff like that, so I could do something like this. Also, Homestuck reference. There you go. There's a Homestuck reference for you. That's also how much money they have, if you couldn't tell, by the cash written right there. Uh, but yeah. Here's some. If I ever manage to turn Tales of Moira into a game, I've got some game mechanics set up. There's 2 pages of 30 slots of inventory. 15 slots per page. There you go. If I ever am able to make a spin-off RPG game, there's a head start for you. My eyes played tricks on me. Oh no. I'm gonna have to lock in for this.
Oh, Lazarus!
Yeah, there's that fucking Undertale stock sound effect again. But yeah, here we go. I'll read through the descriptions. Leaf grinder. Willow's leaf grinder, used for grinding up lotus root, halfling lettuce, and other unique leaves. Deltarune reference. Used for both medicinal and recreational means. His initials, Willow Alejandro Garcia, are written on the lid of the leaf grinder. Wag. It's there for you. And then Willow says, "No, I need to find food. They're probably hungry. I know there's a sandwich somewhere in here." Ambrosia, a can of legally distinct mango-flavored energy drink. This one's Kaylee's. She drinks them to keep her energy up when using spells and cantrips. It only really works for roughly 2 hours before the caffeine wears off and she crashes from casting too many spells. So that tells you a little bit about Kaylee's